Hey guys, Ben Meredith here. I know it's been a while. I have been slammed and I've also been moving. So you'll see the background and the space is a little different. I'm actually up in my loft now, which is where my office is. But because it's been a while, I wanted to give you guys some type of content and put something out for you guys to enjoy. And today we're gonna be talking about something that's very, very important, but it's not that sexy. We're gonna be talking about traveling with your camera gear. How to pack camera gear, how I pack my camera gear, different ways to pack your camera gear, specifically a backpack. I've said it before, I will say it again, and I will say it again after I say it again. Anything to make my job easier is very attractive to me. The last thing that we want to be worried about is things like packing your gear, loading Pelican case after Pelican case into a car. So if I can make that a little bit easier, I'm definitely going to. The more space that I can create in my brain to focus on the things that actually matter, the creative decisions, the better off I'm gonna be. So today we're gonna specifically be talking about the Sakk Gear 28-liter Slimpak backpack. That's what we have on the table right here, and we're gonna get to it in a little bit. But first, we're just gonna talk about packing your gear in general. So as a cinematographer, you'll actually find that you do a lot of mental gymnastics when it comes to packing your gear. There's not really anything creative about it. It has no effect on the type of content you're shooting, but it's actually really important. How do you get your gear from point A to point B safely? Now, kind of the go-to is Pelican cases, or hard cases in general. Now, those have their place, don't get me wrong. All my lenses are in Pelican cases. In the past, all my cinema cameras and different gear I've used have been housed in Pelican cases. They keep your gear safe and they give a dedicated space to work out of when you're pulling lenses, pulling cameras, things like that. So I'm not knocking Pelican cases, but I will say they are fucking annoying. And they're annoying in the sense of loading and unloading. In the past, when I would have my cinema camera setups, between the camera itself, AKS, lenses, batteries, all those things, I was lugging around 4 or 5 Pelican cases. That's quite a lot, especially if you're working in spaces like downtown Los Angeles or kind of nature spaces where you have to take a bit of a hike. It's really annoying to lug that stuff around. That's where dedicated camera backpacks really come in handy. Now, I actually shot my entire first feature film pretty much out of a backpack. 2/3 of that movie was shot in the deep, cold nature of Maine. These were not easy locations to get to. A lot of the time, we were literally sitting in sleds being snowmobiled to the location. It just didn't make sense to have a bunch of Pelican cases. So I had a backpack with 3 lenses, batteries, the camera, the monitor, pretty much everything we needed, just ready to go so we could be sledded out to the location and get our shots. Now that was my old backpack, but I'm very excited about this new 28-liter Slimpak by Sakk Gear. Full disclosure, this video is absolutely sponsored by them. They sent me this backpack to do a review on, and I'm gonna do just that. But I am gonna keep my opinions honest and show you how I would actually use this backpack in everyday scenarios. And that's where I'm gonna separate this video from what I normally might do. Everyday scenarios. Now when you see a backpack like this, the first thing you probably think is nature. We're gonna see a video where Ben's out in the middle of nowhere getting awesome shots and he takes his backpack with him to do just that. I'm not gonna do that. That was my initial idea, but I thought of something a little different. I'm gonna show you how I would use this backpack on an everyday scenario in Los Angeles, in the city, just taking this to set on a work day. The timing's perfect because tomorrow I have pickup shots all throughout Los Angeles for a feature film we shot back in October. And reading the schedule, I think we have about 4 company moves, and we have to move fast. We have a skeleton crew, we don't have tons of support, so I need to be really quick. That's where this is going to help. Instead of lugging a bunch of Pelican cases in and out of my car, I'm just gonna take this backpack with me and have everything I need inside. So we're gonna do a full cinema setup packed inside of here. We're gonna pack all 4 of my Canon FD Cinevised lenses. We're gonna pack the Nikon Zr, which is what we're gonna do the pickups on tomorrow. We're also gonna pack the Cineback to go on the Nikon Zr and have more of a cinema camera setup. We're gonna pack the rails, the matte box, a 7-inch monitor, batteries. We're pretty much gonna put everything in here, so tomorrow morning when I wake up, I can just grab this, throw it on my back, head out the door. That's gonna be a lot easier than 2 or 3 trips to my car, up and down these flights of stairs with Pelican cases. So for that reason alone, I'm already really excited to dive into what this backpack has to offer. So let's take a look. First and foremost, I'm noticing the color. This thing is slick. And hey, if you can look a little better on set, might as well. I love the waterproof material. I know it's not carbon fiber, but it definitely has this kind of texture to it that sort of seems like carbon fiber. I understand why it's called the Slimpak. It is very slim compared to other camera backpacks. For instance, my old one is like super bulky. It gets the job done, but aesthetically it's not very pleasing and it's just really bulky on my back. This keeps things nice and slim. I definitely love this cushioning that they have on the back here, so it's gonna sit and rest well on your back and be comfortable. And obviously we'll get into all this, but there's just pockets everywhere. This thing has so much storage and so many places to put things. I might not even get through all of it, but I'm just gonna start packing it up and showing you guys how I'm gonna use it tomorrow. So similar to a Pelican case, it comes completely empty with the dividers separately. So you can really kind of customize this and build it out how you want to with the Velcro dividers and just sort of place it for the different things you might be packing it for. I'm not gonna show you that part because it's probably gonna be kind of boring, but I'm gonna start putting these dividers in and sort of spacing them how I'm gonna pack my bag tomorrow. And then we're gonna show you guys how much you can actually fit in this thing. We're just gonna kind of go through pocket by pocket and show how I packed the bag so far. So let's start with this first front pocket. Now you'll see here, there's zippers on the sides. So you can put stuff in here. I probably will end up putting things like USB-C cables, battery charging cables in these front pockets. And then you have your main front pocket. For now, I'm just putting in my 7-inch monitor because this fabric's really nice. I don't think it's gonna scratch it. You could even kind of tuck it in here if you want. Actually, geez, you can tuck the entire monitor in here, and I'm just leaving the HDMI cable in for now. And it has a second pocket up here, and then it has a pocket here that you can put stuff in as well. I'll probably put memory cards and card readers in this pocket. Monitor will go there. And that's the front. So I'm gonna zip that up and we're done with that. It does have a pocket on the very top that you can see here. It's not huge, but it's definitely big enough to put a camera or even a couple cameras, batteries, anything like that. I'll probably end up putting the Nikon Zr batteries in here, and I'm leaving the V-mounts in the bulk of the backpack. But I'll probably put Nikon Zr batteries in here just as backup, and then maybe just, you know, some other AKS. But it's definitely a good pocket to have, just a nice quick access pocket on the top. Now we flip the bag over and we see it just has tons of amazing padding, so it's really comfortable when it sits on your back. The straps are really nice and they clip right here. And like most camera backpacks, it has a nice pocket on the side as well. This will probably most likely be utilized best for things like laptops, which I'm not bringing with me tomorrow on set. But if I needed to bring one, it would go right in this side pocket here. It has a nice side pouch here for things like water bottles or snacks. And then this latch here is also really nice for things like a small tripod. Actually, because I'm getting BTS for you guys tomorrow, I'm probably gonna bring a little tripod that holds my cell phone so I can get some BTS. And that just goes nice and snug right there. All right, now let's get to the meat of the backpack, and that's gonna be our main storage space. So we're gonna unzip that and take a look. So this is how I packed it for tomorrow's shoot. We have our main pouch here. Because I'm shooting on the ZR, I just put my Lumix S1H in here, but this is where the camera's gonna go. And then something like a small matte box for some filters. We have our little AKS pouch right here. This is just for my top handle, you know, some USB-C cables, some things just to plug in, make everything work. We have our, you know, and then we have kind of the beefy part, which is our main lenses. This fits all 4 of my Canon Cinevised FD lenses. Nice and snug. They're not moving around or banging against each other. Then we have the main compartment, which is our Cineback. So this is the Nikon Zr Cineback. You also could take the ZR, where I normally would put it here, and just leave it in the Cineback, so it's just already in there, and then use this space for something else. And then on the side slots here, we have our V-mount batteries. And what I like is when you flip this back over, and let's say you were to zip it up, you have a nice little quick access pocket just on the side here. So if you just need to get a battery real quick and this is all packed up, you know, already, you can just get to them through this quick access pocket here, zip it back up, and then keep everything nice and safe. So this is how I'm packing everything for tomorrow. Honestly, there was probably 100 different ways I could have laid this out. You'll see here, I have all these leftover dividers, so there's so much you can do. I'm not the best at Tetris, so I'm sure someone can do this better than I'm doing it. But it still has all these little, you know, they come in all shapes and sizes. You have these longer ones that fold. You have these smaller ones just to make little divisions. And then you have this medium ones that are 2 panels to make little divisions. All right, so we're gonna zip this back up and we are good to go. All right, this thing is packed and ready to go. You can see a good test is when I lift it up, you're not gonna hear a bunch of things like jiggling around and hitting each other. And I packed it heavy too, there's a lot in here. But I love that everything is compact and nice and safe. It gives me a lot of comfort knowing that stuff is not gonna jiggle around in here when I lift it up, because everything's compact and really, you know, nice and snug in here. All right, so we're all packed up, we're ready for our shoot tomorrow. There's just a couple other batteries and cables I'm gonna throw in here, but I didn't wanna bore you guys with all that. And then I can just show you guys kind of how it fits on the back. Nice and easy. It has clips if you want a more snug kind of fit, but I don't really need that, not at the moment. And you can really see how slim this actually is. It just kind of sits nice and flush against my back. The padding is wonderful. It's super comfortable to wear. I know this video is sponsored by them, but I'm not just saying this. This actually is a really, really well-designed backpack. And again, my loft's not set up yet, so I know this is pretty boring to look at as far as the background, but you get the idea of how the backpack works. And you know, it just feels safe. It actually fits so snug. I can really move around. I don't hear anything jiggling back there. It doesn't sound like anything's breaking. That's something I did not like about my old backpack. Every time I kind of was moving around when we were kind of hiking into the wilderness to try and get these shots, it just felt like things were not snug and safe back there. This does not feel that way, and I think part of that is because you can really customize it and use all those soft panels to really get your gear nice and snug in the backpack and make sure that it's safe. I'll give you a little model spin.
Let it bounce.
I'm good. So there's the backpack setup. We're gonna go shoot with this tomorrow, and I'm gonna show you guys some BTS on how easy it is to work out of a backpack on set as opposed to a Pelican case. There's honestly not that much of a difference. I know Pelican cases are safer, but again, tomorrow is a perfect example of when a backpack makes a little more sense. We have a skeleton crew. There's not gonna be tons of people walking around and moving gear. So it's just easier to bring something like this that me and my select crew know we can just work out of the backpack. All right, so we're gonna rock this tomorrow, and then I'm gonna come back and share with you guys my final thoughts on the Sakk Gear 28-liter Slimpak. I'll catch you then. Hey guys, we are already winning because I have the backpack on here, which normally would be 2 Pelican cases worth of gear, which freed up both my hands to get my tripod, a bag of diffusion, and some cables, and an extra light in the car. And we'll just slide the backpack nice right here, and we're good to go. Hey guys, it is a beautiful sunny day in Southern California. We're on our way to our shoot. You just saw me throw my gear in the back there. I can't stress how important that is, because the new apartment I just moved into, as amazing as it is, and definitely an upgrade from my old place did have a garage, a private garage, 1 car, so I could keep a lot of my gear in there. Like things like stands and tripods, you know, not the expensive stuff. My new place has a underground community garage, and you have to, you know, go through 2 gates with a key to get to it. Plus my apartment is up 2 flights of stairs, and then my loft where all my equipment is another flight of stairs. So I know it just sounds like I'm complaining, but these things add up You know, they add up time, they add up energy, they add up resources. And if I had, you know, 2, 3, even 4 Pelican cases that I had to haul, you know, making several trips up and down those stairs and through the gates and all that, having a backpack is so much easier. Like you just saw, I threw it on my back. That opened up my hands to carry a couple more things. It was just one trip. I left my place, one trip down to the car. We're already on our way. We have everything we need. So, so far I'm loving this backpack. and it's not that I haven't had camera backpacks before. I have. But this one, even just, it's crazy, but even just walking down the stairs, felt nicer. It felt more snug to my back. It felt more comfortable. It wasn't kind of tugging on me. My gear felt really safe. It didn't feel like anything was jiggling around in there. And I imagine that's kind of going to be the common theme throughout the day. I'm just going to be able to really trust this backpack to safely carry my gear. Because like I mentioned, I think we have 3 or 4 company moves today. So we're going to be bouncing all around town. And to know already that, you know, pardon the pun, but very much intended, this backpack has my back. I'll be able to just throw it on my shoulder and go throughout the day pretty easily. All right, next time we see you, we'll probably be on set. Here you can see me utilizing the main compartment for easy access to the lenses and the matte box. Then here you can see I use the quick access pocket just to grab a battery real quick and check where my charge was at to see if I need to throw anything on the charger. Hey guys, so we are back from the shoot here with the Sakk Gear 28-liter Slimpak. But yeah, I worked out of this bag the entire day. We ended up actually doing, I think it was 3 company moves. This came with me obviously everywhere, and it was so easy to just throw on my back and get going. Once we got to our sets, we obviously created an area where we would stage our gear, and you know, no different from a Pelican case. This just sat where the gear was stationed. We left the compartment open when we were kind of working out of the bag, and once we grabbed a lens or whatever we needed, we would just close it like that, and we were good to go. It kept everything extremely nice and tidy, nothing jumbled around in here, obviously nothing broke, everything was kept very safe and very secure throughout the entire shoot, and we were moving around a lot. So that's pretty amazing. I could put my trust in this bag almost as much as I would a Pelican case or any kind of hard case. Now, I'm very careful with my gear anyway. It's not like I'm, you know, throwing around Pelican cases and kicking them out of the way or anything on set. And I would never do that with this bag or with a Pelican case. But we were moving around a lot, and I was picking this thing up a lot and putting it in a lot of different areas and a lot of different environments yesterday, and it held up extremely well. Now, I know because the nature of our shoot, I couldn't get a ton of BTS for you guys. There's certain actors and information involved, and because of the way festival rules work, we just really couldn't show that much of what we were shooting. But you saw I did manage to sneak away and get a little bit of footage of me kind of working out of the bag in different scenarios. And I do plan on taking this bag back out very soon to some very special locations in California that I've been meaning to scout. I will definitely get more behind the scenes footage of that shoot when I do it later this month, and this bag will 100% be coming with me. I think what I like most about it is that an entire cinema setup could go inside of this thing. So that's 4 lenses, the Nikon Zr, the Cineback, which is pretty beefy, 2 V-mount batteries, a 7-inch monitor, all the cables, the chargers, cards, etc. And that just really impressed me because it still maintained its really slim form factor and really nice size. And although the Nikon Zr is a pretty tiny camera, the Cineback, which I paired it with yesterday, is not that tiny. So the fact that this could fit a full Cineback rig in it Also made me realize it could easily fit a red Komodo, a Sony FX6, a Pixis 6K or Pixis 12K, a Canon C50, you know, any of those friendlier sized cinema cameras. And because it's so customizable with the different dividers it gives you, you could kind of space this out to fit an even larger camera. But the other thing I like about that customization is you can use these dividers to fit maybe a smaller camera, but then have more dividers for smaller accessories or more lenses. So I kind of had my full cinema setup, but if I just pack the Nikon Zr by itself, it's very tiny. So for the dividers I didn't use, I could add more of those and I could probably fit you know, something like, I don't know, 8 or 9 different lenses in here if I wanted to. So at the end of the day, the thing that I love is just there's so many ways to build this backpack out and have different use case scenarios for the types of shoots you're going to. So that's how I pack my gear with the Sakk Gear 28-liter Slimpak. I highly recommend checking this bag out. I guarantee you it's gonna make your life easier on a variety of different shoots. To relieve yourself of the burden of carrying so many Pelican cases and just putting things in something that you can throw in your backpack and run out the door is truly amazing. So thank you guys for tuning in. Now that I'm settled in my new place, I definitely have a lot of really cool videos planned for you guys. So stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one.